All right, let's talk through some things about this 58 Bassman. The rectifier tube is good, and if the wall voltage is turned down with a variac, right now it's at 114, it can stay with that 5AR4 GZ34. If someone wants to use this with modern wall voltages, 120 or higher, I strongly suggest using a 5U4 GB. The output tubes it came with, these old RCAs, one of them, this one right here, has got little flecks of metal or some substance all over the inside of the glass. What happens is that material used to be on the plates and the cathodes and the heaters and everything, and it is spattered out onto the glass. So that tube is not trustworthy. It has got a different amps pair of groove tubes in for test purposes. It will need a new pair of 6L6s. Of the 3 preamp tubes it came in with, the old Tungsram was very noisy. One of the Fender labeled Chinese, red labeled tubes was very noisy. One's okay. So the original Fender branded, well, it's not original to the amp, but the Fender branded Chinese tube is in V3, the phase inverter. I've got a GE in V2, and I've got a current production tube amp Doctor premium selected 12AY7 in V1. The Bassman originally came with the 12AY7. If the owner wants a 12AX, that's fine, but I thought we'd start the testing with the 12AY. Had to do a lot of cleaning to the pots, and they have all been saved. Sadly, I could not save all of the input jacks. 3 of the input jacks were just really, really noisy, no matter how I cleaned them. They wear out, they're mechanical devices, so it has 4 new Switchcraft jacks installed, and the old ones are in the bag with all the old wires and other components that I had to take out. So if someone wants to gaze at them lovingly and say, "Oh, the original jacks," that's great. You can do a little Hamlet speech to them, but don't try to play using them. So these Switchcrafts here are the way to go. The white knob here, it came in with a white knob, non-original, on the bright channel. I left it there. Non-original replacement leather handle. I don't really trust that to pick the amp up with. This amp is going to be sold. I have a rubber reissue strap that would fit this, but I think it'd be better to get a really nice leather one. There's a source I've got from a guy off Reverb who makes fantastic replacement high-end leather handles for these for about $50. But there is a rubber handle which fits this as well. Of the 4 speakers, they all seem to be good. Only the top 2 seem to be original. The bottom left P10Q has got evidence of a tear that has been patched with some rubber cement or something, but seems to be okay. That's a decision for whoever buys this amp to deal with, whether to have them reconed or whatever. I think we are pretty much at the seller's, the current owner's budget. You can see the added 100 ohm half-watt heater balance resistors added here between pin 2 and ground, pin 8 and pin 7 and ground on this tube here. And the output section is dead quiet, no hum, hiss, no buzz, no fuss, no muss. It's a good thing. It's a floor wax and a dessert topping. Right here, this black wire, you can't really see, is going over to the same point of the chassis where this cap off the standby is going. This black wire is the reservoir cap ground. If you see the previous video, you saw I had some new series caps for the reservoir stage and some new series caps for the screen stage and a single cap for the phase inverter stage. The phase inverter and screen grounds are coming and going to the same place on the chassis where the ground from this preamp ground is going, so right here. So the preamp, the phase inverter, and the screen are all going to chassis here. The reservoir is going to chassis here, along with this, which is also in the same first reservoir stage. And the HT center tap is over here. Normally, it would also be to the same point, but it won't reach, so it stayed in its original location. Let's see. One thing that I do not have to tell you, but I will. When I first powered up this channel, the treble channel was sounding great. The normal channel was sounding very, very noisy. And I thought it might be a bad volume pot. Turns out it was a bad, brand new 100K CC carbon comp resistor. So that's been changed out and it is working perfectly. The only non-carbon comps in here are the ones in the power supply here, the droppers. These are 2-watt metal films. If I were building one of these from scratch, brand new, I'd use carbon film, but this is a 1958, and if it has any magic for the sound, there it is. But occasionally, even from a new production one, or a new one that's never been used before, you will have problems. And so I identified that and I changed it out. So I'm still waiting for, the new output. I'll have to get new output tubes for this. I'll talk to the owner, see if he wants to do the 7025, the 12X7 versus the 12AY7. So I'm just going to let you hear it a little bit in its current state with the 12AY, with this borrowed pair of output tubes, which are biased at 55% idle dissipation right now. So not a bad place to be. Let me move the mic closer to the speakers and turn down the recording level and let you hear it. So that's just a little proof of concept. All the controls are working. The controls are working nicely. No noise, no issues whatsoever. I mean, you could hear some hum. That was the Telecaster single coils, not the amp. So I'm really pleased with this. You'll get to hear it really put through its paces soon at some more serious volumes with a better mic setup, and a better player. But I need to talk to the owner and get some tubes in here and button her up. So this thing is going to sound fantastic. Thanks for watching.